Hello and welcome to Cinema Explorer. I'm Moksh.
And I'm Muskan.
And we're finally back from IFFI and we're making a video on all the films that we have watched there.
If you follow us on Instagram, you would have known कि हमने IFFI में कितना ज़्यादा enjoy किया. We watched a total of 7 films and attended one masterclass because we were there only for a short duration of time. But still, it was an amazing experience.
By the end of this video, we will also tell you about our top 3 favorite films which we really loved from IFFI.
So let's talk about all the films we watched there.
So we'll go chronologically. So the first film we watched there was One Fine Morning by Mia Hansen-Løve. One Fine Morning is an intimate portrayal of how a person's life gets affected when a close one suffers from an age-related illness. The film beautifully showcases how it can alter the life of a person, their priorities, and even their mental health.
The film boasts beautiful cinematography and the way it expresses itself through colors is really impressive. Even Lea Seydoux is so beautiful in her portrayal of Sandra, a single mother, and this film especially shows her in a de-glam kind of look. Her acting is really subtle and so realistic.
The overall experience that we had while watching the film was really good, and it was a really good film to start off the festival for us.
The second film we watched on the same day was My Love Affair with Marriage, directed by Cine Bomne. Watching this film in theatre was a really different and unique experience for us. This animated film is a strongly feminist portrayal of what it means to be a girl in a society. It very cleverly shows how a girl is expected to behave and act in a society, in a marriage, and overall in general. Cine Bomne's approach is very quirky. She blends her animation with elements of neuroscience, and it is just so beautiful.
I think her use of neuroscience really added to that fact that she was able to explain why the girl was behaving in certain ways, and that really helped me a lot to understand what she was trying to tell us.
And the best thing about the film was that it was very inclusive. Whatever time period you may exist in, whatever part of the world you may live in, everyone can connect with it.
Even though the film was really good, the one issue I had with it was that it felt kind of repetitive after a point, and it was a little too overstretched and could have been wrapped maybe in 1 hour 30 minutes instead of going for 2 hours.
Overall, it was a really good experience, and add that to the fact that we got to meet the director herself, Cine Bomne, and she gave us signed postcards
To both of us, and she even got a picture click with us, so that was really special for us, interacting with her. We had a little chat with her as well, so it was really good for us. The next film we watched was Peppermint Frappe, directed by Carlos Saura. This year Carlos Saura was presented with Lifetime Achievement Award by IFFI, and his films were shown in the retrospective section, and we decided to go for Peppermint Frappe.
When we read about this film, it felt very similar to Vertigo because it has a lot of overlapping themes of obsession and desire. So we went to watch this film, and it was a really good decision.
It felt like a love child between Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo and any of the film Louis Buñuel ever made. The film heavily relied on its striking visuals and used very little dialogue, but that did enhance the overall mystical nature of the film.
It is a psychosexual drama that focuses more on fetishism and depression of emotions that only leads to dangerous consequences.
Along with the striking visuals, one of the major takeaways was the acting by Geraldine Chaplin, who played the character of Evelyn and Anna. She was phenomenal.
Overall, we really enjoyed the film, and this was the kind of film that really requires a rewatch. If we rewatch it in the near future, we will definitely post a review about it. The next film we watched was Decision to Leave by Park Chan-wook. This film was one of the most anticipated films of this festival, and I'm so glad we decided to watch it and we did not watch it earlier because it was an amazing experience.
One thing which stood out for me in this romantic, comedic thriller was the direction by Park Chan-wook, who is at the top of his game in this particular film.
I think the film was perfectly paced and its editing was just exceptional. The transitions, the match cuts, everything about this film was just amazing.
Almost every aspect of the film was at the highest level, and the acting from the lead pair was exceptional as well. And overall, the theatre experience was really enriching and really wonderful for us.
I think it's safe to say that Park Chan-wook never disappoints. The next film we watched was Triangle of Sadness by Ruben Östlund. Triangle of Sadness was this year's Palme d'Or winner, so we had a lot of expectations when we went to see it. And I think it's safe to say that it met most of our expectations. This satire was probably the best theatre experience of this festival, because the way the audiences were laughing at the jokes, the subtle digs, not so subtle digs actually, the very on your face digs, and all the punches was just so enjoyable.
They were just going bonkers here and there, and I could hear shouting and I could hear people laughing, and they were just commenting throughout the film, and it was a really good community watching experience.
The film reminded us a lot of Parasite, only here the satire was not at all subtle. It was very on your face, and I think that is the style of Ruben Ostlund, and it is seen in many of his films.
The film was really enjoyable right from the start to the very end, even though it felt a tad bit too long to me, and in some parts it was losing steam, but still it was a really well made film and a really great experience for us. The next film we watched was After Sun, directed by Charlotte Wells. Yeah, it was one film in which Muskan could not get the tickets, so I went alone. And it is probably my favorite film from this particular festival. A really beautiful experience watching it on the big screen, and I could feel a lot of similarities to Moonlight, and a major reason for that was Barry Jenkins was the producer in this particular film. So I think Charlotte Wells took a lot of stylistic choices that were very similar to his. It is a poignant yet lively film which feels really personal to the director and leaves a lasting impression on your heart and soul. And it was one film, after a very long time, it was one film where I cried when the credits rolled, and it was really a beautiful experience for me to watch it on the big screen. One major takeaway for me from this particular film is that Paul Mescal is out of this world, and he is probably the next biggest thing after Timothée Chalamet. So if you haven't heard the name or if you don't know him, please check him out. The next film we watched was How to Blow Up a Pipeline, directed by Daniel Goldhaber. This is a radical film about a group of people who take matters into their own hands against the big oil corporations by doing the most possible thing that they could think of: blow up a pipeline. This was the debut film from Daniel Goldhaber, and it felt like his style was very similar to that of Safdie brothers. The tension-filled atmosphere and the constant anxiety one feels is the trademark of Safdie brothers, and this was something I could feel in his direction as well.
The idea, concepts, and the stylistic expression of this film were really good, but I think the screenplay was the one thing that brought it down. The exposition felt really long, and I just lost interest in the film after probably 30 minutes. But it did get a lot better in the end, towards the end, when the main action was taking place. So that part was really good.
The two highlights for me from this film are the editing and the music, which really created an immersive experience towards the end, because the screenplay was really lagging and I really didn't feel invested in the first 20-30 minutes.
Now coming to the top 3 favorite films that we promised you to tell. I think the first one was
After Sun for me, because I gave it a 5 out of 5, so that has to be at the top.
And I think the second one was Decision to Leave, because Park Chan-wook's direction made it so much better.
And to wrap it all off, it was Triangle of Sadness, because the overall experience of watching it with the other members at IFFI was really great.
Apart from these films, we also attended a masterclass with one and only Pankaj Tripathi, and he was just so amazing. The masterclass was about the art and craft of acting, and I think he is the perfect person to learn from.
Yeah, because he really gave some good points to the people who were asking questions, and the highlight was that he was having a lot of banter with the audience as well. So that experience was really good for us, because we could see him right in front of us enjoying his time and making sure that people who have come to listen to him also enjoy.
I think it felt more like a stand-up comedy show in between.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really fun experience.
So that was all we did at IFFI. We watched 7 films, attended a masterclass, and had a really great experience. And we really hope we can visit it again next year.
And watch much more films than we did this year. If you like this video, leave down a comment, give us a like, and subscribe to the channel.
Bye-bye.
Bye.